Om Shanti, good morning. So just to let the Spanish speakers know that you have got another translator, she's there now, so you can put on your headphones. Luckily there was a backup. So we're really honored to have Sheilu Ben here with us this morning. And I'd like to start, we've got so many things to draw out of you, Sheilu Ben. But I'd like to start with asking you, we know intellectually, we know we've heard from Baba why Brahma Baba was chosen, but from your heart, having lived and spent time with Brahma Baba, why do you feel he was the chariot? From your heart, your feelings.
Om Shanti. On the basis of the spiritual knowledge which Baba has given, we know about the cycle, and Baba has given the secret that this soul of Brahma Baba was the first soul of Sri Krishna, deity Krishna. So the first birth of this soul was the birth of deity Krishna, Lord Krishna, the first prince of Golden Age, and now it is his last 84th birth. And this is why he is the chosen one, because through him, through this soul, God has to create that golden aged world again. And therefore he becomes the instrumental one. And God names him Brahma, and then Brahma is called the creator, and then Brahma becomes Vishnu. So Sri Krishna means the corporeal form of Vishnu. The creator then becomes the sustainer. Like parents create, they give birth to their children, and then they sustain the children. So it's the same soul who first creates and then sustains. So this is from knowledge point of view. And then if you look at the other aspect, some people may question, well, he was a family man, he had all the experiences of this world. God could have chosen a pure soul who was a total celibate, who had not entered into family life. And God could have chosen that one, maybe even a sannyasi who had renounced the world. God could have chosen him. But this man was a family man. He had indulged in vices, had children, everything. So why did God have to choose him? And then Shiv Baba says, I need an experienced person who has the experience of worldly life also, who has the experience of family life too. I can't enter a small child. Okay, child is very innocent. Baba says, a child is like a great soul, Mahanatma. But a child cannot be called Baba. The children have to call that person Baba, father. So for being a father, an aged man is required. And therefore I take his body. And he's very, very experienced. That is why in today's Murli, Baba said that even Brahma Baba's dictates, they are no less, they have no less importance. There's a saying that, well, God's directions, God's instructions, God's Shrimad is the highest on high. And that is remembered as the Gita. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita, the version spoken by God himself. But for Brahma too, they say that his mat or opinion or directions or instructions or dictates, whatever you may call it, they're also no less. And there's also a saying, some people say that when they don't want to listen to anybody, they don't want to obey anybody, and if you tell them, well, God is saying this to you, still they don't care. So there's a saying that that person who doesn't care, he says, even if Brahma comes in this world and tells me, I will not do it. That's what they say. So Brahma's opinion or directions or dictates are no less. And therefore, God needs that one who's an authority. So Brahma was an authority. He had read all the scriptures. He was totally well experienced in this world, so he could share his experiences in business, in Lokik family life, in worldly things, whatever. And therefore, such a person was needed. That's why God chose him.
Beautiful. So very, very clear from all the aspects of knowledge and then that experienced soul. And imagine if you didn't know any of that. You didn't know any of that knowledge and anything that Shiv Baba said about Brahma Baba, and you just remember when you met him. What would you say from your experience that made him number one? What would you say? What was it that made him number one?
The first time I met Baba, I saw Baba, there was a magnetic pull towards Baba. It was in the year 1960, so that is 55 years ago. I was only 12 years old. Now I'm 68. So 67, 68. So it was at that time when I was just 12 years old. My mother was already in contact with the Brahma Kumaris, and she kept coming on and off. But I was a schoolgirl and I really didn't know all these things, that she was going to the Brahma Kumaris center. But then Baba would come to Mumbai every year, so I'm from Mumbai. Every year Baba would come to Mumbai. Why? Because the climate there, the weather in Mumbai in winter is very good, not like here, so cold. So Mumbai was very suitable for Baba in winter. And the doctor had advised him that if you can spend your winter months in Mumbai, it would be good for your health. So Baba used to come, and it was my fortune that I was in Mumbai. I was telling this morning in the class that there were many souls who came to Baba maybe even in 66, 67, 68, but they never met Baba. Why? Because they didn't come to Madhuban. So only those who came to Madhuban, they could meet Baba. No, Baba didn't go anywhere else. But Mumbai, he used to come every year and spend 3 months in Mumbai. They used to rent a house for Baba, and Baba would be in that house, which would have a big hall, and of course all the classes there, because Baba never gave lectures in big auditoriums or outside halls or big gatherings. No, never. Baba would always say, I speak only to my children. I don't speak to outsiders. That's what he says. So they needed a house. They would have a house for Baba. Get a house for Baba. And then, so my mother took me to Baba, because Baba had invited some mothers for Brahma Bhojan. And so my mother thought, let me take my daughter also. And well, she had taken me to the center once or twice before that. And one day I remember she was in the Murli class and she took me, that was 1958. I don't really remember that because I was just 10 years old. So she took me, and the teacher was reading the Murli, and I also sat in the Murli. And I didn't know anything, but I was listening and I felt that I could understand. And then after the Murli was over, the teacher started asking the students for repeating the Murli points. So everybody repeated. So she asked me also as if I knew anything. And I also gave one point. I don't know what I said, but I do remember that I did answer, say something without understanding what I'm saying. Anyway, then after the class, I stood up and I looked around, and at that time there were just 2 pictures, not all these pictures which we have today, just 2 pictures. The Trimurti with the cycle, that is one picture, and the second was the Kalpa tree, that's all. And these pictures were the original pictures which they had even in Karachi, in the Yagya days. So I looked at those pictures and I read the writing on both sides of these pictures, and as I was reading, I felt I can understand. It's not a big thing to understand these things. Anyway, I liked it, but that's all. I didn't go again. But then in 1960, when Baba came, my mother took me and for Brahma Bhojan. So that Brahma Bhojan scene was so special. It was very new for me, everything new, and there were 50 mothers. And some, I think a few had brought their children too, so my mother also took me. And Brahma Bhojan was not an ordinary meal serving, that's all. But it was Brahma Baba would sit and all on the floor, no tables and chairs. On the floor, and we sat in a rectangular form, Brahma Baba, and in front, and Dadi, some seniors with Baba, and then all of us in a rectangular shape. And my mother was sitting right on this other side. So what Baba used to do, Brahma Bhojan, meant that each one would sit in his own place and then food would be served. And in the meantime, each one would come to Baba and put his head on Baba's lap. This was like taking like Baba's lap. And then then that person would raise the head, and then Baba would give drishti to that person, a pat on his back, and a morsel in his mouth, So each one would do that. Go to Baba, put his head in Baba's lap. Baba would be sitting on the floor, and then get up, and then raise the head, and Baba would give powerful drishti, and then a pat on the back when the head would be on the lap, and a blessing, and then a morsel in the mouth. So my mother also did this, and now it was my turn, but I was watching. I didn't know, I was hesitating. I said, maybe this one is my mother's guru, and he's taking everyone in his lap, but I don't know if it's allowed for children, because sometimes children hesitate. So I was hesitating. So Baba called me after my mother had her turn. So Baba called me. Baba said, "Come, child, come, come, come," very sweetly. So at that time when Baba said, "Come," I got like a magnetic pull, a magnet inviting a needle. And I got up and ran because I was quite far. I ran, and like Baba pulled me, "Come, child." So I felt my father has called me. My father has called me. And I ran and I just embraced Baba and even shook Baba, that strong, maybe that those strong hands. I just hugged Baba, and Baba smiled and he patted on my back, and the blessing Baba gave me at that time, I can never forget. The blessing was, the child has come back to the father. The child has come back to the father. That's it. And put a morsel in my mouth. So actually I felt that my father called me, because I lost my father when I was just a small child. I never saw my father, Lokik father, because this body was just born and I was just 3 days old, the body. And my father was away, he was in Delhi. And he came to know that I was born, so he was on his way from Delhi to Mumbai. He came by road. And on the way, he met with an accident and died on the spot. So he never saw me and I never saw him. So we always say that, all these are karmic accounts anyway. So I used to feel that gap, or maybe I felt that hollowness, that I don't have a father. My mother used to tell me many things about my father, but then I never saw my father. So I felt I don't have a father. But then when Baba said, "Come child, come daughter," I felt my father is calling me. And so I always say with great pride that, when people question how you got your spiritual birth, because everybody has his own way of narrating how they got their spiritual birth. Like some would say, I got drishti from Dadi, I got toli from Dadi, I sat in the Murli class, I went to an exhibition, each one has their own experience. But I always say with pride, I got my spiritual birth in Baba's lap. So that was my spiritual birth, the attraction, like a magnet attracting a needle, like the father has attracted the daughter, and I took a new birth in Baba's lap. And then, of course, there was no looking back.
Wow.
So this was the turning point in my life.
Gosh. And then that was when you were 12 and Baba was in Mumbai, and then how long after that did you come to Madhavan?
Very soon. I think when I first went to Baba was in 59 December. And in 1960 June, I came to Madhuban with my mother.
Wow.
So within 6 months, my mother made a program for Madhuban, so she took me also. So it was not after a very long time. And in 1960, you know what Madhuban was? Pandav Bhavan. We didn't even have the history hall. The history hall was built in 1962. And actually, the place where we used to have Baba's Murli was an old building just next to Baba's room. You have that big door inside the old building. Well, that was the classroom. And Baba's office on one side, the dispensary on the other side. But that was Baba's hall, where Baba used to speak the Murli. And sometimes when there would be more children, because Madhuban residents were hardly 15, 20, that's all. Not even that much. Only those who were skilled in their work, they were living here. For example, carpenter, or maybe electrician, or a gardener, cook. So these brothers, they were dedicated. And Baba hardly allowed any sisters to live in Madhuban. That's why it's called Pandav Bhavan. Because Baba would say that sisters are needed in centers. Because sisters are teachers. And they have to teach. God has put the sisters in the front. So brothers are needed for physical work. And therefore just 15 brothers in Madhuban and some old ladies of the Yagya in Madhuban. Because they couldn't go to any center. One was blind and the other was deaf. And the third was maybe dumb or something, So Baba had those old ladies in Madhuban. There's a joke on this, once somebody wrote to Baba, "Baba, I'm opening a center and Baba, I need some hands. So please help me to get some hands, some sisters who could be in the center." So Baba wrote a very lovely letter, in a joking way. "The child, I have these 3 ladies. If you want, I can send them. I have no other hands. You have to create your own hands. So if you're asking me, I can send you these." So that was it. And so I came in 1960. And then, of course, it was a beautiful experience with Baba and Mama. Mama was also in Madhuban in 1960. And we were a small group, my mother, my aunt, and my mother's sister. And because my aunt was the first one to take Baba's Gyan. And then she brought my mother brought me, like that.
So beautiful. And then, so how long after that was it before you, I guess you did your education, your schooling, and then when did you surrender and come and stay in Madhuban?
Yeah, well, just one thing I would like to add, that we stayed for 8 days in Madhuban at that time, and Baba was the attraction of our stay. Everything was with Baba. That's what Baba says, that you come to Madhuban to hear the Murli, you come to Madhuban for Baba. So from morning till night, it was Baba, all the time. He was like the teacher, Mama and Baba. Because no other sisters, no other dadis lived in Madhuban. So early morning, Amrit Vela, Baba used to conduct meditation, then Murli class, and then after Murli class, we would all go together in Baba's room, and it would be like a small chamber, and Baba would continue some Murli points, would speak in the chamber in Baba's room, and then after that, sometimes breakfast together, sometimes lunch together, sometimes dinner together, and then playing together, sitting on the swing together, going for walks together. Well, that was Madhuban with Baba and Mama. And of course, that's why Baba says you come to Madhuban to relax, to refreshen yourselves, to take rest. Baba says in the Murlis. So you have come from that busy world, busy things and such hectic activities there. But now you come to Madhuban and take rest. Take rest in Baba's home. So that was Madhuban. And I remember the last day when we had to leave, well, Baba and Mama would call us individually, or sometimes they would be together and call the group, because we would take leave from Baba. So it's all the time with Baba only. So Mama would give us different gift. I still have that gift the first time Mama gave me. A small purse, with pearls, little purse. During those days, the pearls purse was very common. It was a nice gift. I was just 12 years old. And then Baba gave me a small shawl. So I still have that at home as a souvenir, which Baba himself gave me with his own hands. Mama gave with her own hands. And then I remember that we were taking leave, but actually I was not present in that gathering with the group which was taking leave from Baba and Mama. So my mother was looking for me and said, "Where is Sheilu?" So she looked and looked but couldn't find me, and then they had to go because they had to take leave. And Baba was calling them, so they went to Baba and Mama and said, "Baba, we don't know where Sheilu is. We are looking for her, she's not around." And then Baba sent some brothers, "Go and look for her." And where I was? Somewhere on the roof. And I hid myself because I didn't want to go back to Mumbai. I said, Mumbai is Maya. I don't want to go to Maya's land. I don't like Mumbai. I want to live here, so I don't want to go. That's why I didn't go to meet Baba. So then Baba sent a message, "Never mind, at least you come and meet Baba. Baba is calling you." So I went. I was obedient and went to Baba. And when I went to Baba, I started crying. I said, "Baba, I don't want to go to Mumbai." So Baba was very sweet. He said, "Okay, child, don't go. So simple. Don't go." And I was surprised that Baba is saying, "Don't go." So my mother looked at me, how can she not go? Then Baba told my mother, how sweet Baba was, and with great, very tactful way Baba handled this situation. No, you have to go, this, that, not like that. So Baba told my mother, "Don't worry, never mind, let her live here, and we will send to a very good school we have in Mount Abu. And she can study here and live here." But my mother was not willing, of course not. That how can she be here? What will she do here? And because no children in Madhuban. Anyway, so But then Baba was very sweet again, and then he said, no, child, no, you have to study in a good school, and in Mount Abu, not very good schools. But Mumbai, big city, big schools, good schools, and child, you study first there, and then Baba will call you. So sweetly he said, Baba will call you. So I, like a small child, Baba, you will call me one day? Yes, child, I will call you. And I agreed to go to Mumbai. Otherwise, I said, I don't want to go. So Baba was sweet in handling the situation, and he made me happy, he made my mother happy. So in this way, I accepted. And that's how I came to Mumbai. But then the thought was, I want to be in Madhuban. I want to be in Madhuban. So I came a few times into Madhuban, and actually I had recited a poetry in English in front of Baba. And also given a speech in front of Baba when Baba was in Mumbai once. So Baba liked it very much, and Baba gave me a blessing at that very moment. And Baba said, child, you are very good in English. Baba will send you abroad and you will do world service. This was Baba, what Sakar Baba told me. Baba will send you abroad and you will do world service. And then in 1967, when I was in my second year of college, I had to decide what career I would take. Well, I wanted to surrender to Baba, but in my family, they were not allowing me. My cousins, my uncles, big family. So they said, no, how can you surrender like that? You have to study. And, one of my cousins was in America, and he was inviting me to come to America to study further. And one of my cousins was a doctor, so he wanted me to study medicine, so all had great hopes in me. So I wrote a letter to Baba. I wrote writing to Baba, Baba, in my family, people want me to go for medical practice, for medicine, and some want me to go to America. I don't know, Baba, what to do. Please, you guide me. So Baba wrote a letter back, answered my letter. This was in the year 1967. I was in my second year of college. And Baba wrote a letter to me saying, child, Baba has great hopes in you, and Baba wants you to become a spiritual doctor and serve the world. This was Baba's hopes for me, spiritual doctor and serve the world. It means don't go for medicine and don't go to America also, but just become a spiritual doctor like a neutral answer. And Baba's hopes in me. So I told my family members, I don't want to go to America for higher studies. I don't want to become a doctor. I want to surrender. But nobody was willing to give me permission to surrender. My mother could not do anything because she was a big family, a joint family, not separate, because I was living with my uncles and cousins and all that. So then what to do? Then Didi Nirmala, she came to help me. She was my real guide at that time. It was in the year 1967 that Baba had told Dr. Nirmala to open a center and as a dowry, from her father. Her experience is also very beautiful. I think she should also share. And so she had opened a center, and Baba had told her that now keep training for Kumaris in your center in Mumbai. Have Kumaris training there. So she kept that Kumaris training, and I was one of the Kumaris in 1967 to attend that training. So it was a very beautiful training, and all the dadis were also there. Dadi Prakashmani was our main teacher. She lived in Mumbai at that time. And so I asked Didi Nirmala, Didi, my Baba is saying become a spiritual doctor and serve the world, and my family members won't accept. They don't want me to surrender. Baba, Didi, what should I do? So very beautifully she gave a middle answer. A neutral answer. She said, what you can do is, you just tell your family members that, okay, medicine, not now. I'll go for degree course for 2 years. 2 years degree course, and then I'll decide. So let me go for 2 years degree course. And she said, I will never advise you to go for medicine. I was a medical practitioner, and I gave up that just to serve Baba. So I will never advise you. And so this is the middle path. Just go for 2 years degree course, and then I'm sure you will be freed. And it so happened that I went for 2 years degree course, and after 69, in my family, nobody said anything, and I could surrender after that. And why I could also surrender? Because I really lost any interest in studies, because Baba left his body in 1969, January, and I was in my last year of college. So when I came to that Baba has left the body, I told Baba, Baba, I have not fulfilled your hope yet. You want me to become a spiritual doctor and serve the world, but I'm still studying, and you are gone. So I didn't know about Avyakt Bapdada, all that, nobody knew. And but then later on, I got a very beautiful experience when I came to that Baba has left the body. I felt that Brahma Baba's angelic form appear in front of me, and Baba put his hand on my head and like consoled me. Child, Baba has not gone. Baba is with you, and you have to fulfill Baba's hopes. This was what I experienced.
So beautiful.
So
Wow.
I finished my studies, and then everything was clear for me, and I could surrender, and that was it.
Wow, so beautiful. And Brahma Baba, he understood English, yes?
Of course.
Yeah, because he was a business person.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he was
yeah.
working, like he would have
Yeah,
business
he had
relationship.
contacts with the Britishers. No, the
Nepal,
Britishers were
and
ruling
also
in
with
India.
the British.
Yeah. They were his customers, because he had a very big shop, and they were his customers. The Britishers, even the Queen, and all the Viceroy, all of them, they would come to Baba's shop, because Baba used to sell jewelry, and jewelry studded with gold and diamonds and whatnot. So they used to come to buy that.
In Calcutta.
In Calcutta.
Wow.
And also the big, the kings of India, the queens would not come, to buy. So the kings they were like good friends of Baba's. They used to invite Baba to their palaces. And they would say, okay, go and meet the queen, and then let her select what she wants to select, what jewelry she wants. So they had great faith in Baba too. Because they used to tell Baba, God made a mistake. He should have made you a king. But he made us a king. You are worthy to become a king because you're so royal. So because of Baba's royalty, he had good connections with the kings as well as the Britishers.
Gosh, that's quite amazing. Wow. So I'd like to shift a little bit, but Brahma Baba, he researched a lot in silence, and especially in the later years, really going deep into silence. And you recently shared with the youth a very beautiful session, and you connected two things, contentment and silence. And it would be lovely to hear a little bit about that, the relationship between the two, because on the 15th, this is the month, the Avyakt month, and we're looking at silence. But on the 15th, we're specifically going to go more into silence for a 7-day program. It'd be lovely to hear about it.
Yeah, because when Baba and the whole Yajna came to Mount Abu, so Mount Abu is like a forest, no? It's not a city as such, it's like a forest, and you have all forest around, and maybe a small little village, Mount Abu. So Baba used to go to the mountains, the rocks, and then be in the forest and sit on the rocks and do tapasya. Baba used to be in silence for so long, and Baba would say that I have to become perfect, it's like because Gulzar Dadi, I would also like to mention that Gulzar Dadi was the first soul to get a vision of subtle regions and the perfect form of Brahma Baba, angelic Brahma. She was the first soul to get this vision. And she is the one who revealed to Baba that, Baba, I saw your perfect form in the subtle regions. You, after completing your efforts, you will become this perfect form, angel Brahma. So Baba got this like enlightenment that I will attain perfection and become angelic Brahma. So Baba used to make effort in this, that I am in my perfect form. I am angelic Brahma. Even the Murlis, we hear a lot about this, that this Brahma is visible in the subtle regions as angelic Brahma in the form of light. So that is the complete angelic form of Brahma. And you also will become complete. You also have your angelic form in the subtle regions. Baba keeps saying that. So when Baba realized that I have my angelic form in the subtle regions, Baba used to make effort accordingly. I have to become complete. I have to become complete. I have to attain perfection. And then Baba would sit on the mountains. You must have seen Baba's pictures. Baba sitting on a rock. Baba's lying against a rock and with a river flowing. Baba used to enjoy in being in Mount Abu in this way, especially during rainy season, and it used to be so fresh and streams flowing, or maybe beautiful atmosphere, and Baba would just sit there in silence and deep tapasya, and like a fully contented soul. Baba used to love the picture of Vishnu. Vishnu is a picture of Vishnu in which Vishnu is shown in a Kshir Sagar, ocean of milk, they say. And it's an ocean with lots of waves. And Vishnu is lying on a bed of snakes. I don't know if you all have seen this picture. And Lakshmi is pressing his legs. And he's so contented, so free, so light, and smiling away. And Lakshmi is asking him, she thinks that because I am massaging his legs and this is why he's enjoying this massage. Some people, when they are being massaged, they like it and then they feel like they are very, very contented, very, very satisfied. So Lakshmi asked Vishnu that, is it because I'm massaging your legs that you look so contented? He said, no, that's not the reason, but I'm churning the knowledge of the Gita. That's what is mentioned in the scriptures. Because they say Krishna gave the knowledge of the Gita, so Krishna is the corporeal form of Vishnu. So I'm churning the knowledge of the Gita, because through this churning, I'm experiencing super sensuous bliss. So that is what it is said by Vishnu to Lakshmi, his consort, means his wife. Anyway, but then Baba says it's not like that. It's not that Vishnu is lying on a bed of snakes and Lakshmi is going to massage his legs. It's not going to be like that in Golden Age. But Lakshmi here means nature. Nature is your servant there in Golden Age. And it is now that you are maybe lying on a bed of snakes and so much of upheaval in the ocean, but you are fully contented, fully satisfied in life, no desires, and instead you are churning knowledge. With the help of that knowledge, you feel that you have become so full. Jewels of knowledge, they are your real treasures which you have achieved, and that's giving you an experience of contentment. So contentment and silence, they can go together. Where there is contentment, there is also inner silence. And where there is an inner silence, there is contentment. They are always together. And therefore Brahma Baba was like that. And he would just lie down in that very calm, cool, peaceful state, having that awareness that I am attaining my perfect state. I am like Vishnu. Because even before, Baba was a devotee of Vishnu. And therefore he loved that picture of Vishnu lying on a bed of snakes. But he did not like this picture of Lakshmi massaging his legs, because he would say, even before Baba got this gyan, Baba would say, Lakshmi is not his servant. Servants are meant to do that. She is a wife, means a queen. How can a queen massage the legs? She's supposed to be sitting next to Vishnu, not at his feet, because feet means someone who is not really in that high position. So she should be sitting near him, by his side, not at his feet. So he did not like this picture. And then he, at home, in his Lokik family, Lokik home, he told an artist to paint a big picture of Vishnu, lying on a bed of snakes, on the ocean, but without Lakshmi, minus Lakshmi. And he would say, this is me. This is me, because he was a worshipper of Vishnu anyway, so he used to be intoxicated looking at the picture, even before he got Baba's Gyan. So the intoxicated stage, so that was his experience even before he got Gyan, because Baba says even the last birth, the first golden aged emperor, his last birth too has that royalty. So this was in Baba.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful image of Vishnu lying. And so for you then, there's a connection between using knowledge, turning it over in the intellect, to bring contentment in the soul. And from that stage we can start to move into true silence. And what would you say for us here? We've all arrived from different places around the world. We carry different things with us as we enter into Madhubam. What would you say, what would your advice be to us on a daily basis to start that process? Like, would you say begin to churn the murli, or take something each day to turn over, to take you into stillness? What do you feel?
It depends, no? It could be different every day. It should not be the same every day, because Baba's knowledge is such that there is so much to churn. So much depth there is in the knowledge. So we can take up any one point and start churning. In the morning also we can do that, or we have a heart-to-heart conversation with Baba at that time. Or we can just sit in silence and then experience Baba's company and just be absorbed in Baba's love. It's all up to us. And all that is part of yoga, Baba says. It's not that only some mantras are to be chanted or just one word to be repeated. But this is a different type of spiritual experience which we can have internally, keeping Baba in mind in all relationships. So any type of experience you want to experience, you can have that. So Amrit Vela also is up to you. But if you try to become blank and okay, nothing, just blank, then you can just doze off. I can go to sleep. But then Baba says you should not sleep. Because sleep again is like you are being invited by Maya. So Maya is trying to disturb you, distract you, take you away from Baba. So Baba says, if you want Rajai, means a kingdom, then you'll have to give up your Rajai. Rajai means your quilt. So you have to remove your quilt and get up, be alert, be awake at Amrit Vela, and be with Baba if you really want a kingdom of heaven. So this is what Baba says. But then it's not just one thing to do. There's so much creativity in Baba's knowledge. Think of your titles, think of the self-respect, think of the virtues of Baba and how much I have in me compared to what Baba has, and how close I am to Baba, how much am I attaining. You can think of hundreds of things and keep your mind busy at Amrit Vela too in that way. And that will give you strength for the whole day.
So when Brahma Baba was in the corporeal form, he used to have lots of different activities, right? To always keep that enthusiasm, and different projects he'd get the children to do. Now, it's a little bit of a long question, but I think, in the last several months in the world, there's been a big shift in energy. I mean, it's been going on for some time, but perhaps what was happening, it has been happening in the Middle East and Europe and different places. So I think many of us are feeling now, wow, things have really moved. And the result of the suffering on souls, millions of souls suffering, it's creating really a heaviness, like a thick blanket of heaviness. And so that's like the opposite of enthusiasm. It's like a hopeless energy. So as Brahmins, what do we need to be doing to maintain our enthusiasm so that we are creators? We're not being created by that heaviness. We're above it, and we are generating enthusiasm and vision for the future. What would you say for us in the different countries around the world?
No, Baba keeps saying, doesn't he, that children, aren't you able to hear the cries of these desperate souls? How much sorrow there is in the world. So Baba has actually made us into those souls who are now going to liberate these souls. We are not involved in anything of that type there. How Baba is really protecting us. We can feel Baba's protection to us. How whenever we say Baba, immediately we can feel Baba's protection. Baba comes as a protector and he protects us. But now we need to protect others. The souls need comfort, they need peace, they need love, they need solace, they need, a lot of protection, because there's so much sorrow and suffering in the world, and mental stress is increasing day by day, and therefore we have to be like the torch bearers guiding them, because we are connected with God. They are not connected with God. We know the future, we know the past, we know the present. So knowing the three aspects of time, we can really not be affected by whatever is happening. We know that Baba says, keep saying in every Murli, Baba says, like today's Murli also, Baba said, there will be wholesale death, not retail death. See, the First World War, the Second World War, when these wars took place, it was not retail death, it was wholesale death. I remember going to Russia a few years ago, and I was surprised that in the centers too, so many old women coming. So I said, only old women, what about the old men? You know what I was told? Because most of these old men, these men, they have died in the Second World War. Hundreds of thousands of people in Russia died in the Second World War. No? Isn't it like the Russians? Russians, raise your hand. Are the Russians here? Yeah? So when I went to Russia, I was told that old women have come to Baba, but not old men. Youngsters are there. Because, how they became, these mothers became widows when they were very young, because the men had to go to war. And so at that time, in the Second World War, it was hundreds of thousands of deaths, like wholesale death. And now we are seeing, like Baba said the other day, and also Baba said in today's Murli, that when you will reach your karmatit stage, the bombs will start, moving. And today also Baba said that the war will begin when you start attaining Karmatit stage. I hope you all noted that sentence. So why is it not happening now? Although everything is ready for it to happen anytime. Only just the button has to be pressed, that's all. But Baba is saying it is because you are not Karmatit yet. I remember once Sister Mohini of New York, she was relating, she was giving a class in which she said that once somebody asked her, many years ago, this class she gave, she said at that time, Bush was the older Bush, the father of this, the recent president. He was the president of America. So, and Gorbachev was the president of USSR. Because only after him, USSR split. So somebody asked Mohini when will destruction take place? And you know what answer she gave? She said, go and ask Bush and Gorbachev. Because they have the button. They have the button. It's up to them when they want to start using these bombs. It's up to him. Don't ask about when will destruction take place. But yes, you can ask us when will golden age come. Instead of asking when will destruction take place, we can answer the other way of this question, when will golden age come? Because destruction doesn't mean total annihilation. Destruction means the coming of the new world. So you can ask us this question, that when will golden age come? And that answer I can give you, that when we become perfect. That is the answer. When we become perfect. So when will destruction take place? When we become perfect. So that they are waiting for us to become perfect. Like Baba gives the example of somebody getting a new house built. But then the old house will not be demolished until the new house is completely built. Because if you demolish the old house and the new house is not ready yet, then where will you stay? The same thing goes for the body. The body is like a house of a soul. So when this new body is ready, then the soul will leave this old body. Very recently, someone left the body, in Shantivan. I mean, it's something very deep realization of it, that in the morning he woke up, everything was so normal, no problem at all. But then he went for Amrit Vela meditation, he came back to his room, and all of a sudden he felt uneasy. And he went to the doctor, in the downstairs in Shantivan, Ever Healthy Hospital. He went there, and the doctor who was on night duty, he was there, and he was just asking him what happened, and he was taking his ECG, all that. And immediately, within minutes, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Oh, he was about 75, 78, something, or maybe 80 years old. Om Shanti. And he left the body that very moment in front of the doctor. And then afterwards, after his cremation and all, the body was brought up, and then his family members came, and then the body was cremated, and then we offered bhog. So the sister who goes into trance, and she sends a message, she brings a message. So Baba gave a very interesting message. Baba said that his new costume was ready. He didn't even realize that he would be leaving the body. I mean, it was just a little maybe some pain or something. And his new costume was ready already. And therefore he could leave the old costume so easily and just enter the new costume so easily. He didn't even come to know. And he also said, like in the message, that I did not know, but I was ready. He was ready. Anytime Baba would want to take him, he was ready to go. So he was already in that ready state. And in a second, the soul left the body and entered the new body. The body was also ready. So everything was ready, So this is how it will be at the time of the transformation. The old will go, the new will come. So this is how we will experience at the end. But as Baba's children, how Baba says, if you are with Baba, then you will not even feel anything. Baba will take you back home on his eyelashes. That's what Baba sometimes says. But people will cry in distress, and for you it will be trumpets of victory.
Sheilu Ben, when we're hearing the cries and when we're hearing the news and things around the world, like Baba said a while ago, child, hold your aim in front of you. Don't get caught in the expansion of all the news and all the things. Of course, we hear. So when you're hearing the news, what's happening inside you? What process is going on when you're hearing, some thousands of people are being killed? What's your process?
So when you hear the news, actually, Baba keeps saying, just don't go for hearing the news. That is not our aim. I should get this news, I should get that news, I should look at the television, I should watch, or I should read the newspaper. What's the news?
Like with that feeling of interest.
Yeah,
isn't
not
it?
with that feeling of interest. But when you get the news, you are hearing that news, you are watching it on the television, but first of all, you have to watch like a detached observer. As Baba says, no questions, no surprises. Sometimes we have questions. Oh, why are they doing like that? Oh, they did like this, they did like that. No questions, no surprises, and no sorrow also. Detached observer means no 5 things I say. No questions. Why? No questions because nothing is new. Questions for what? Because everything is fixed in the drama. You question when you don't know what is in the drama. So we question. No surprises too, because it's nothing new. So nothing new and nothing surprising. It has happened before. And also we know that everything, whatever is happening, there is some benefit behind it. There's a lot of benefit because it is creating disinterest for the world. It is creating maybe not hatred for the world, but it is creating love for God, see the positive side of it. People who are not at all interested in God, they think science is everything, they are only for material things. For them, it is now time for them to think of God, the Redeemer, the Salvager, the Purifier, the Guide. So, time for that. And therefore, no questions, no surprises, no sorrow also. Because all karmic accounts have to be settled at this time. We cannot carry these karmic accounts with us. So everyone's karmic accounts are being settled. We have to become neutral and go. So either karmic accounts will be settled in this way, or maybe in Dharamraj Puri, or Baba says through meditation, but they don't know meditation, and therefore karmic accounts will be settled through sorrow and suffering. But then this is the only method for them to be released from sorrow. The souls will be released from sorrow in this way, after settling their karmic accounts, and therefore no sorrow. Not that I say, oh, it's good that this happened to him, not like that. But this is beneficial for the soul, because in this way the souls will be released from or relieved from sorrow. It's a positive approach. And also no worry too. What will happen to them? What will happen to them? No worry. Again, because nothing is new. And fifthly, no worry, no fear also. Oh, this, sometimes we get so frightened seeing all that. So there should be no fear too. So no fear, no sorrow, no questions, no surprises, and no worry. What was the fifth one? Huh? No worry. Worry, fear, surprise, questions, sorrow. Sorrow. This is called a detached observer, because Baba has given us the knowledge of the drama. And also Baba says that nothing in this world is ever destroyed. Everything is eternal. Only thing it is transformed. I always share one experience which is related to this. I once, I was in America and I went to Los Angeles, that Hollywood studio. They show tourists, that studio. And so I went to one of the studios and they said, this is very interesting, you must watch it, how shooting takes place. So they were showing the tourists. So I don't know if you all have seen it, I don't remember where, but it was somewhere in the United States. So we went to that studio, and a big hall, much, I think 5 times bigger than this hall. Big, 10 times bigger. And we had to stand on a platform, and we were told to hold the railing. The one who was announcing told us, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Don't worry. So that time these thoughts came in, don't be afraid, don't worry. And then just wait and just watch. That's what we were told. So we didn't know what would happen. Anyway, we held and said, we were told, hold the railing tight. So we held it very tight. Each one was given a space to hold the railing. And all of a sudden that platform shook. Oh my God. And as it shook, people started screaming, because it shook quite, strongly. And we all started trembling. But again we were told, don't leave the railing, don't leave the railing. And then, okay, we quiet. And then what happened was, we saw in that big hall or whatever it was, something, big noise. And we saw a bridge falling, a building getting burning, and someone shooting, and someone falling. It was so confusing. Everywhere, wherever we look, hear sound. And after a few minutes, all crumbled downwards. And we just watched. Again, every time that sound coming, don't be afraid, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. And I was remembering Baba at that time. Oh, Baba, is this what we'll see at the end? Anyway, and you know what happened after that? Then after some time, as we saw everything all destroyed, and then after some time, again that platform shook. Oh God, we got again afraid, Again we were told, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. And to our surprise, that building which had toppled down came back. That bridge which had broken again became complete. And that man who fell down burning, again he came on the top. Everything came back as it was at the beginning. And I said, how it came back? Everything was destroyed and still it came back. How it came back? And then there was a big silence after that. Silence after destruction, and again a silence after everything came back. And you know what that guy told us? Do you think that when we shoot films, does whatever is shown on the screen or whatever, does it really happen? No, it doesn't. Nothing happens. Nothing is destroyed. Everything is very much there. This is just a game. That's what he said. This is only a game. You have to watch it as a game. Nothing is destroyed. So the moment he said nothing is destroyed, I remember the world cycle. Nothing is destroyed. Now you and I, for example, we are watching each other, we are hearing each other, I'm speaking. In the next kalpa, we'll be again the same way, no? Same body? You also same clothes. How will all this come back? It will come back. So is anything lost forever? Nothing is lost. Everything is there, but only maybe time is a factor which comes in the way, and then you get it back maybe after 5,000 years, but we do get it back. So nothing is lost. That's what Baba says, watch everything as a detached observer. Now this is one aspect of understanding. But the second aspect, that we have to give them that power of peace, silence, comfort. Make them, that consciousness should work. Baba says, do service to the mind. Because you can't go there and serve them. But you are far away from them, thousands of miles away from them. But after getting that news, or as soon as you get the news, you start doing service to the mind of those souls. That they experience peace. They experience comfort. They get inner strength to face those situations. But for that, you have to be in that powerful stage yourself, because only then you can give to others. We all, there's a saying in India, we say that supposing there is death in someone's family. So if there is a death in someone's family, and the family members are crying, maybe, but if you really want to go there to help them, not to go there and cry yourself. Some people have that empathy. Oh, somebody is in that sad situation, and I also show that empathy by showing the sorrow myself. So we have to become doctors, not patients. A doctor should not be affected by that epidemic. If he himself becomes infected, what's the use? He should know how to keep himself detached, to keep himself safe. That is why in the olden days, when people used to go to war, what?
He's saying spiritual doctor.
Spiritual doctor, yes. When people used to go to war, they had a sword, no doubt, for attack, but then the armor and the shield, both were meant for defense, defending the self. So we keep ourselves strong by defending ourselves, by being soul conscious, by seeing them as a soul, by seeing everything as a drama, not experiencing any type of sorrow, and yet with our treasures of peace and love and happiness, we share that through our thoughts. So this is really becoming a spiritual doctor and serving those souls without being affected. That is what is important.
And also, there were there's so many deep points you shared then, and just taking up also the aspect of being neutral, not because everyone has their part to play, don't they?
Yeah.
So sometimes we can get into the thing of sides according to the media and things like that, but remaining very neutral.
Yeah. Neutral means detached and loving, as Baba says. Very loving too, very loving, and also internally very detached. And when Baba says be soul conscious and see others as souls, so we become very loving and detached automatically.
What can happen though if, sometimes as a Brahmin, Baba's given us so much, but sometimes it can happen that in our journey we can sort of get a bit, perhaps we focus too much on ourself. Like sometimes Baba says, now's not the time to focus on ourself. In one way, and one way not, in that we've taken so much from Baba and people in the world are in so much need. So if we move out of the attitude of being a world benefactor at the time when I'm required to be now, and I'm focusing too much on myself, how could that impact on the soul?
We need to be able to detach ourselves to, we need to make that effort. And Baba gives an example of two, animals. One is an animal and the other is a bird. Baba gives the example of a tortoise. What does a tortoise do? When it sees something going wrong, it just withdraws. It takes in its limbs, the hands, the legs, the head. It just takes inside and becomes like a hard shell. So Baba says, whenever there's any type of sorrow, anything which can create a very strong impact, give a lot of sorrow and suffering, at that time just withdraw. I'm not this body. I'm beyond this body. I'm only a soul, a point of divine energy. I am totally separate from this physical world, the physical body, only a point. Baba says, become a dot. Become a dot and be with the dot. Dot, my true companion. I'm with the dot. So this is like withdrawing by going inwards and just becoming a dot. You are not at all pulled by anything physical. And the second thing is about a bird. A bird sees an animal coming, running to catch that bird. Because bird is tiny, the animal may be big. Now, the bird is very clever. What it does, how it protects itself, it flies. Now, the animal can't fly. The cat comes, but the bird flies. So the cat just watches because she can't fly to catch the bird. So the bird has wings. But if at that time that bird gets frightened, then it can't fly. So the way it can protect itself is by using its wings and flying. How does a tortoise protect itself? By withdrawing. So Baba says, either learn to withdraw or learn to go beyond. In a second, what Baba says, nothing is mine. So you can go beyond in 1 second. Nothing is mine. Nothing is mine means no pulls, no attachments, no desires, no wants, nothing. And in that way, Baba says, supposing if any disaster is to happen or anything which is very tragic, but you can just pull out. I give my example in this. Once I met with a very big accident. I always share this, in some classes, that I met with a very big accident. To cut the whole story short, actually we hit a man who was carrying logs of wood, and our car hit his foot, and he was walking, and the wheel just hurt just touched his feet, his legs, and he fell down. And he fell down because the car tried to stop. The driver was trying to stop the car, but it hurt his leg, and he fell down, and he had a log of, was wood on his head. So that wood, it flung, and it hit the window screen. And the window screen started, it broke, shattering. And we were in the car, and this driver didn't know what to do. So what he did give a powerful brake, but then that person fell down, and then this driver, he used the steering wheel to turn the car and go on the side. Now there was a very big pillar. Maybe it could have hit the pillar, and the car could have smashed, after hitting this person. Or there was a very deep pit, very like we were little on a high altitude, and there was a deep, like it was a little rock, and there's a deep pit below. So the car could have gone into that or hit a pillar. And there was a big sound because the wheel hit that person's foot. Now, and here the window screen broke. And at that time, a thought came in my mind, Baba, I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you. And maybe for 1 second, I could feel that the heartbeat, maybe which was there, but then after some 1 second, like a heartbeat stopped. And I was in total silence, just Baba, I'm coming to you. And that's it. I became totally bodiless, my experience. I'll tell you about the others. So I became totally bodiless. And I'm coming to you, I said, Baba, Baba, I'm coming to you. And then after some time, the car had actually neither hit the pillar, nor did it go into that pit. There were bushes, dry bushes, and the car went and rolled against the bushes. It went and lied down. The wheel came off and everything, and it just went and just slept over the bushes. And we were 3 sisters at the back. I was at the back. And the sister in between was very tiny, small sister. She was thin. So she just went underneath, just below the seat. And the other sister at the other end, she was very fat. And she fell on me because the car slept over, and she fell on me, and I am just squashed. But then at least we were all safe. And it was interesting, if you would have seen the car, it was smashed to such an extent that maybe nobody survived if somebody would see that car, because the screen broke in, the wheel out, and that wheel also turned in, and the door, everything. I don't know what happened. At that time, you don't even know what's happening. And then, the whole story is that we called another car, and then the car came. We came back to Madhuban. It was somewhere near Palanpur. We came by road. And the next day, we met Baba, Avyakt Bab Dada. Now that person, he did not die at that time, but later on he died in the hospital the next day because he broke his head. He fell down. But that time, he was carried to the hospital, and then, it became a big case. And I had to also go to the court to be one of the witnesses of what happened. Anyway, it went very quickly, but then I got an experience of going to a court because that person died, no? And but then when we met Baba the next day, and we got the news at that time before we went to meet Baba that person had died in the hospital. So, what Baba told all 5, we were 5 of us, 3, and that brother was driving, was also a BK, and one sister in front. So we 5 of us went to Baba, and you know what Baba said? Baba said, all your karmic accounts were settled by that person. I don't know what he meant, but these were the words Baba used. All your karmic accounts were settled by that man who died. I don't know what karmic accounts we must have all had with him. And that person died, and nothing happened to us.
But what is your understanding?
I don't know, but this is what
Quite
Baba
amazing.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But, he was a tribal man, tribal man having gone to the forest to cut the wood and all, and he was maybe going home, and his wife was with him. And she was crying and shouting and shouting and shouting because he fell down and he became unconscious at that time. And then afterwards, when the case happened, that wife never came to the court. She went and got married to his brother. So that was the end of the story of him, and therefore we could finish it. And maybe he was We gave some money to the wife, no doubt, but then the case finished very soon. We had to just go once to the court and just say, because it was not the driver's fault. The car was going at very slow speed, but he came all of a sudden from nowhere. He was not there. All of a sudden he came. He should have seen the car. No, he didn't see. And he just tried to cross the road. So maybe the car was also at the edge, not somewhere in the middle. So it was definitely his fault. And then the driver did try to save him. But then that was his fate. And our karmic accounts were settled by him. This is what Baba said. So,
Wow.
well, I don't know. But this is the story. But then what I'm trying to say is that how at that time, my experience was, others' experience also was similar, but my special experience, I became totally detached. Baba, I'm coming to you. Everything forgotten, just one Baba and none other. As Baba says, no, this will be a last paper. When you are completely detached, no one is remembered, no objects, no people, nothing is remembered, just one Baba at the end. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much. Sheilu, can we just have a question or two?
Sure.
I meant to let you do that earlier, but if anyone would like to ask a question, we have time for a couple of questions. You can come to the front and we'll put the mic. Anyone has a question? Any language? Your translators are so good. This is one of the original, Sheilu is one of our original translators. And when we have translators retreat, she comes and joins the translator retreat, which is beautiful. Yes.
I have a question. You can hear? Okay. I have this question. I'm wondering what effort are you making here together in Pandav Bhavan and in Gyansarova on doing tapasya, becoming silent? Because when I see in the bhatti in the evening, when I see the Gyansarova and Nevasi sitting on the gadi, and they are so silent and so... Yeah, it's so nice to see, and I think, well, there must be really a lot of effort for tapasya. What do you do in the year, because we are only here for a short time, to get that stage?
Actually, Baba says your effort should not seem like labor. It should be so natural. Because Baba wants to make us realize our original stage, our natural stage. So what we were, we have to become that again. So actually, it's not a struggle, it is not a labor, but it is something which we can experience in a very natural way. As Baba says, in your original form, you are pure. You were pure, you are pure, and you will become pure. So just become aware of that. And this is what we do in tapasya. Like Dadi Janki keeps reminding us, the first two sentences she uses, who am I? And whose am I? She always keeps questioning. So that's what I have to ask myself all the time. Who am I? And keep that self-respect, that self-intoxication. Think of all the titles Baba has given to me. And through those titles, create that intoxication, that thought, and leading to intoxication. And then, of course, attain that through an experience. Like Baba says, you don't have to become just parrots, or you don't have to become like a pandit. Baba said in today's Murli, a Pandit, the story of a Pandit. You know the story, Everybody knows this story. Baba mentioned in today's Murli. You all know the story? Who don't know this story? You don't know? Well, I will just tell a story, just in brief. Well, the story goes that once there was a Pandit. Pandit means scholars. They are not sannyasis. They live with their families, but they read the scriptures and then they read the scriptures to others also. People go to them and listen to the scriptures from them. So he used to tell in his speech that if you say Ram, 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 then you can cross the ocean. You will cross this ocean. Say Ram, 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 and you cross this ocean. He used to say that. So there was a lady who used to come to his satsang, and she had to cross a river. So, because he would say Ram, 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 and you can cross the ocean. So she said, please let me say Ram, 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 and cross this river. So she used to have so much faith in whatever that Pandit or that scholar would say. She would say Ram, 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 and really the river would give her side, open up from the middle and give her space to walk, and she would go to the other shore. So just by saying Ram, 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 that faith was so strong in her. Now one day what happened was that she invited that Pandit to her house. And he said, okay, for meals. And when he came, she brought him to the river bank and said, now we have to go to the other side of the river. He said, where is the boat? She said, boat? I never go by boat. Because you have said, no, that you can say Ram, 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 Ram and just cross the ocean. So that's what I do. I cross this river, say Ram, 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 and then I get that space, that path, and I just walk through and I reach my home. I don't have to use a boat. And this Pandit said, how funny she is. How can you do that? But Guruji, you only have been saying that. Anyway, now he could not say no because he used to say that anyway. So what he did also, he took a step and said Ram, Ram, Ram. But she said with great of love and affection and faith. Well, she went across, but he couldn't go. He was left stranded there. He couldn't go. And she's saying, come, 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 say Ram, 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 you can come. But he has no faith. He has no faith. And they say, still he went, but then he was drowned because he did not have faith, and she went across. So that's the story.
Such a good storyteller. No, we know that, many of us know that story, but I've never heard it that well. So.
Yeah, so that's the story. So Baba said that faith was not there in the Pandit. He used to just say, just for the sake of saying, without really having that experience or that practice or that faith, and therefore he never succeeded. So that's why people say that you must have purity is good, but then they themselves don't lead a pure life. And also Baba says, what you want to teach others, you should practice yourself. If you say purity is good, we should practice, but then we are not practicing ourselves, so it won't have any impact on anyone. Like he says, somebody gets very angry and he says, don't get angry. People will say, first you don't get angry. How can you tell us not to get angry? You yourself are getting angry. The father is smoking, the father is drinking, and he tells his child, you should not smoke, you should not drink. The child will not understand. He says, father is also doing it, why shouldn't I? So Baba says, you have to set an example. You have to be a role model yourself. Only then you can tell others, and that will have an impact. So otherwise it will be like being a Pandit, just speaking but not practicing. That is why there's a saying, we say, values cannot be taught. You can't teach values. You have to have that value yourself, and through what yourself are, you are actually inspiring others. So values cannot be taught, they are caught. They are caught. Because if I am peaceful, how will I teach being peaceful? I'll say, okay, be peaceful. Say, but how to be? Okay, just watch me. How I'm peaceful. Learn to smile. So watch me how I'm smiling. So they are caught. They are taken through inspiration. They can't be taught in words. No values can be taught in words. They have to be practiced in order to teach others or to give others the impression of that. So this is what Baba says. So when we are sitting in tapasya, Baba says, remember your titles and become the embodiment of them. Don't just relate, don't just keep saying inside you, but become the embodiment of them. Actually, Baba gave me this blessing. On the basis of that, I made my first commentary cassette commentary cassette. So at that time in 1976, when I came from Africa, Mauritius, I was there for 2 years, and then I came to live in Madhuban, and I was conducting Raj Yoga camps. So I used to give commentary whilst teaching meditation and used to practice. So I used to say, I am a peaceful soul. And then just go into the depth of peace. I am a pure soul, go into the depth of purity. So I used to do that, this commentary. So people liked it. Before, hardly anybody would give commentaries like that. This is in 1976. So I gave this commentary, and really people appreciated it because they did not know what to think in meditation. Now, when I went in front of Baba, Bap Dada, Baba blessed me that you conduct Raj Yoga camp and you give a commentary, and that is very good because you make people become aware of who they are and what they are and what they should do. So at that time you become the embodiment. Baba was praising me. You become the embodiment of that, and this is why it has an effect. And therefore, so when Baba said this, at that time Karuna Bhai, Karuna Bhai, who's in charge of the media and all that, so he heard what Baba was telling me. So he asked me, called me and asked me, you should record all this. It should be on a cassette. That time, no videos, nothing. At least audio was just cassettes were there. A few songs were made in a cassette. No CDs, no video, VCDs, nothing. Just cassettes. And so you should record this. And we didn't have our own studio. We didn't have anything. So he said, okay, you go to Mumbai. There's a very big studios there, and they can record your commentary. And that we can use in meditation. So that was the first commentary which I recorded for meditation. And of course now we have so many. So, and also I remember Avek Bap Dada giving me a blessing. That once I went in front of Bap Dada, and I went with a group and I was translating for them. So Baba spoke to them, and then at the end I went just maybe to, Baba will give only toli to me. So I put my hand like this. So Baba got a hold of my hand with the toli in the hand, and Baba said very beautiful words. Baba said, Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, is on your tongue. This is what Baba has told me. Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, is on your tongue. Well, it was a very strange blessing. But then after that blessing, it was an interesting scene. Wherever I would go, because it was on mic, everybody heard it. Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, is on your tongue. So they started teasing me, a few of them. Oh, you are Saraswati, Sangam Yug Saraswati, so Golden Age Lakshmi is sure for you. Like that. You will surely become Lakshmi. But in me, there was a lot of churning. I said, what a blessing. What does Baba want me to do? Baba has great expectation in me. He expects something from me. But, well, that also will be revealed. And whatever Baba wants me to do, I will do. But then, at least if Saraswati is on my tongue, or in my tongue, then I should never utter anything which is against the words of Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge. These were the words which came in my mind. Anyway, very soon after about 15 days, there was an invitation to the Brahma Kumaris to give a speech on the television. This was the first time on television. Before that, we never came on television. And we got an invitation. So, Karuna Bhai got this invitation that we invite the Brahma Kumaris to give us, because private channels had started. Before it was just government channel. So government channel never accepted. Because they would say that if we accept one institution, then so many institutions will come and ask. Therefore, only government things, that's all.
What year was that?
This was in the year 92 or 93. Yeah, 92, 93. That time, private channels was just beginning. And this was a private channel which invited us to give half our speech. Because at that time, in 92, there were a lot of riots in India. Because the Hindu fanatics, they had demolished a mosque in Ayodhya, Ram Mandir. And it was actually a temple of Ram, but then when the Muslims invaded India, they converted that into a masjid, into a mosque. And the Hindus wanted that to become a temple again. So even till today, this is going on between Hindus and Muslims. The Hindus want a temple and the Muslims say, no, we will not allow the temple to be built here. And after the Hindu fanatics demolished a part of that mosque, the Muslims got wild. The fanatics again, the fundamentalists or the lateral, and there were big riots between Hindus and Muslims. Even till today, they are remembering that. Anyway, so when these private channels started, the lady who was a director of the spiritual programs, she said that we want now spiritual organizations to come and speak, but this is a private channel and we work through the satellite. And therefore, this will go in 60 countries of Asia. And, so what happened was we got invitation. And then Karuna Bhai asked Dadiji, we Brahma Kumaris got invitation to give a spiritual talk. And so we should invite any sister who can come and give a speech. So Dadi called me and she said, Sheilu, can you give a talk on television? I said, what? It was something very new for me. And I said, what do I have to do for that? So then she said, go and speak to Karuna Bhai. So I went to Karuna Bhai. Karuna Bhai said, well, you don't have to do anything. What you teach Raj Yoga, give in Raj Yoga camps, just tell about Raj Yoga. It's enough. This is what you have to do. So I said, that's very easy. I'll talk about Raj Yoga. Now, but when he took me to Mumbai and there in the studio, it was ZTV. So studio, the lady director who was there, I was introduced to her and that she will give a speech. And then she told me 5 things that this is what I should not do when I'm giving a speech. I should not say these things. So I said, what should I not say and what should I say? She said, don't talk about your institution. Don't talk about your guru. Don't talk about Bharat, India. Don't praise Bharat because this is going in 60 countries. don't talk about any religion. So no religion, no organization, no guru, no country, and also nothing about nothing about, not politics. Nothing, I don't know. The fifth was nothing against any other organization. Because usually, these organizations, they criticize other organizations. So don't criticize any other organization. Don't speak anything about or praise your guru, your institution, your country, whatever. Then I said, what do you want me to speak on? She said, just talk on values. At that time, value education was also not known in the organization. Now we talk so much about values in every profession. At that time, this value education this word was not used. Because we used to all talk about Raj Yoga, Atma, Paramatma, soul, supreme soul. So talk about values in life. Because so many riots have happened in India, so we want that Hindus and Muslims should come together and live in peace. So how they can come together and live in peace, this is what I want you to speak on. So, in 25 minutes you have to speak. And then 22 minutes, and then we will tell you 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, and then 0. And then you have to finish in those 3 minutes. So I said, okay, I'll do it. Because I saw, okay, value education, and she's talking about peace. Okay, let me talk about peace. Peace is the first value. And then it was very interesting. The first time there's a camera in front of me, like this. And that person who was recording, because there was nobody in front of whom I could speak, no? So I have to speak in front of walls, I was saying to myself. Then that person said, no, you look into this lens. This lens, you must think that this is not only a lens, but thousands and hundreds of thousands of eyes are watching you through this lens. This is what I was told. I said, okay, then what else? And it was very interesting. That person, he was, because now we have 2 cameras or 3 cameras, and you take different shots. At that time, only 1 camera. And it was on a railing. So that person was on a railing, and he was moving from here to here. And I was told, just look into the camera. That means if he's going from here to here, I have to move also this way. Now, this was something difficult, no? Because should I pay attention to the camera, or should I pay attention to what I have to say? Well, I said, Baba, now what do? I don't know. Baba, you are the one who has brought me here. You take care. And then I remembered Baba had said that Saraswati is on your tongue. Now, this is what Baba wanted me to do. But he prepared me before that. And I have come for this, so Baba, you work. I don't know what I'm going to say. And I don't know what I said. But I just kept one word in mind. I am going to speak about peace. So peace, you can talk so much about peace. And that's what I said. And after 25 minutes, I don't know what I said. Well, anyway, she liked it very much. And she said, can you record more? Different values? I said, okay. And then I recorded 3 more, because every Sunday, once lecture. Then after the 3 more, she said, can you do more? Then I started wondering what more, what to speak without talking about soul and supreme soul and, about Brahma Baba. Nothing, just on values. And that time, in those days, no positive thinking course, no self-management courses, no courses. Just Baba's original gyan, that's what we would give. And really how Baba helped. So once I said, now I had to give more lectures. So I used to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning and say, Baba, now you have to inspire me. What am I going to speak on? What lecture? So I had many Avyakt Murli books. So what I would do is say, Baba, now You have to inspire. So I would just open any Avyakta Murli, any book, any page. And as I would open, the very first page were all maybe about love, about happiness, about faith, beautiful things from Avyakta Murlis. And I said, this is what I'm going to speak on. And without really speaking directly about Baba's Gyan, but this is what I can speak on. And I recorded maybe 150 lectures.
Wow.
150 at that time.
Gosh.
3 o'clock, wake up. But I didn't feel at all that I was making any effort. And just I would be in Baba's remembrance all the time, just thinking, writing.
So beautiful. Wow. Thank you so much, Sheilu Ben. So many jewels. Wow, we went through so many beautiful experiences of Brahma Baba and all of that learning about silence and how to do service. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sheilu Ben, for your wonderful insights, how to deal with practical situations in life. It's really beautiful. It's a gift for you.
Wow, thank
handmade. It's a swan.
Thank you. And we're going to have Sheilu Ben with us again, hopefully on the welcome program on the 15th. So thank you so much. And
I can read what she's written.
yeah.
Thank you, sweet Didi, for coming to all of us double foreigners and share with us so many jewels about the amazing personality of God's hand, Brahma Baba. You brought him so much closer to us. Lots of love from all the double foreigners in Baba's sweet remembrance. Om Shanti. This is a swan.
Thank you and a swan.
Acha, thank you and a swan. This is a swan.
Yeah, but the words are thank you.
The words are thank you. Very good. Okay, good.